World War II beta wrapped up here for weekend 1, and it's picking back up this coming weekend for weekend 2, but out of it we ended up getting a lot of playtime, a lot of hands-on experience, and we got to see a lot about what the game was all about. Personally, I'm totally cool with the division system. I have no problems with it at all. I think it's a nice little way to revise how we've played for years now at this point, and while it might take away in a little bit for how some things work in the create a class system, overall I think it's something that's, while it is a little bit irritating at some points early on, I think that once we live with it, it'll be all right. But that's not what I want to talk about today, because I want to talk about one specific division, and that being Airborne, because we all know that this one caters towards SMGs, and right now it brings up a very interesting question on what we'll see in the full game, and it's not yet been addressed by the community feedback in terms of what Sledgehammer's put out there in terms of what they're going to be saying. So that said, is this going to be the only thing that has a suppressor? SMGs only and only in Airborne. So I want to talk to you guys today about what I think is the suppressor debacle in Call of Duty World War II. So that said, jumping right into it, once again, this is something that the suppressor is a major piece in the meta of Call of Duty. That's where a lot of people love to play those run and gun stealth playstyles, and there's nothing wrong with that at all, but it is drastically changed within Call of Duty World War II, or at least right now, because suppressors are only available within, once again, that Airborne division and on SMGs. You have to have both of those to be able to use a suppressor, which is a little interesting. Now, when it comes down to it, that sort of mentality only limits players to be able to use the suppressor for roughly 5 to 6 weapons at the full release of the game, assuming that it sticks like this, to which there is not going to be that much positivity surrounding that topic in the community if that does in fact stick. Now, where this starts to become interesting to me and why it doesn't make much sense is there's no attachments whatsoever for the suppressor thus far. Now, what kind of would make sense, I guess, is if there was no suppressor attachment for SMGs, simply because, once again, you have that Airborne classification, that division where it's built in, so it wouldn't be a crutch attachment, but at the same point in time, with there not being any attachments, it still, once again, very much so limits it. And we have absolutely no final say, no word or anything on that, on if it would be something that's only excluded from the division class setup of Airborne. We have absolutely no word on a suppressor attachment, so that entire idea even is just really all theory, and at the moment it's still very much so limited. Now, to me, what's even weirder is the fact that, say we don't end up getting a suppressor attachment for assault rifles, shotguns, sniper rifles, whatever it may be in terms of the full release and what we previously would put a suppressor on. Say we don't end up getting that. The crazy part to me also is the fact that if somebody ends up using an SMG as an Airborne player, we, as somebody who does not have that same division, cannot pick up that weapon to get that suppressor. So whether a design quirk or intentional, once again, it's very much so limited only to a few sort of weapons. So with that said, it comes full circle on how it completely changes the meta of Call of Duty. People really want to be able to run those, once again, stealthy run and gun type playstyles in which they would normally use a ghost perk, a suppressor, something like that, an SMG, but you can't have all of those in the current build of Call of Duty World War II. And while I'm all for changing up how things are played, this to me kind of cuts out an entire major playstyle of Call of Duty, which I'm not entirely sure how I feel about just yet. I mean, I personally love to do that kind of stuff as well, run around with suppressor, get up in people's faces and they don't even know that I'm there. That sort of thing is a lot of fun to do, and this little pickle that we're in as a community and facing with this next upcoming title, it really poses the question on what will be done, if anything at all. So that said, that's really all there is to present on this little debacle, but I want to get your thoughts and feedback here at this as well. Whereas we've had some things like basic training, once again, that will cross over with some of those division skills, why can't we see an attachment do the same thing, in which maybe it's excluded just from Airborne, but available for everything else? Why can't it be like that? Why do we have absolutely nothing outside of the SMGs at the moment? Let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. Does this affect you and your playstyle overall all that much or at all? Love to hear your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. Whatever it may be, just feel free to let me know. But if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe to stay up to date with everything we have here regarding Call of Duty World War II. We're gonna be killing it with the content. So make sure you guys stick it right here if any of that interests you. And finally, if you guys want to follow me over on Twitter, that's the best place to get connected outside of YouTube. Practically live on Twitter. So if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, link is down there in the description below. All that said and out of the way, hopefully you guys have a fantastic day. Thanks so much for watching. Mine is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.